Hello everyone, and welcome back to Network 27. I'm Alderman Walter Burnett, Alderman of the 27th Ward. I'd like to thank everyone for watching the show. As you all know, Network 27 comes on twice a month, every second and fourth Monday at 10 p.m. on CAN TV. So I want to thank everyone for watching. There's a lot of great things happening in the ward. There's a lot of great opportunities happening in the ward. One of the things that we have to do as aldermen, we can't give everyone a job, but we have to give people opportunities for jobs. We can't make people hire folks, but what we do is we produce opportunities. So when a business comes to the ward, and we're blessed to have many businesses coming to the ward, we try and get them to give the neighborhood an opportunity. Several ways we try and do that. One, if they're having a job fair themselves, or if they're having an interview process, we e-blast to the residents in the ward where those opportunities are. Two, we try and get them to have job fairs. We had a job fair not too long ago. We had a job fair with Mariano's when they opened up on Halsted and Madison. There was also another job fair at the Target over on the near north side on Larrabee and Division. And we've had a myriad of job fairs over the years with different folks, even with Jules. We're blessed that Jules is now going to be purchasing the former Dominick's on Division and Claiborne. We're going to try and encourage them to have a job fair. So we try to bring those opportunities to people. When we bring those opportunities to people, it's not that we can just give folks a job. People have to step up their game and prepare themselves for a job. And a lot of times we have to get organizations to help us to put them in that position. One of the ways that folks find out about things is, one, we try to pass out flyers, we try to deal with the local community organizations in the area, and we also e-blast. Our e-blast is emails that we get from people. So if any of you want to be on our email list and you live in the ward, I know it's hard to stop folks who don't live in the ward from giving us their information. And a lot of folks think I'm the alderman for the city, but I'm the alderman for the 27th Ward. You can call our office and get on our email list, and you will get our e-blast newsletter, for which we try any information we get for job opportunities, we let folks know. Like for instance, they were looking to train people to work on the Malcolm X site. Several people went through the training. We got them to pay for people to get bus fare to be able to go back and forth for the training. A lot of people in the neighborhood didn't believe it, so they didn't participate. But the ones who did participate is going to be working on the Malcolm X site. So we send out information, and right now we've been sending out information for people to get trained to work on the Eisenhower. That's on our email, is on our websites, and hopefully folks have been applying to those things. We pass out flyers. It's hard with the flyers. It's easier with the emails, and that's the new wave of communicating with folks. And quiet as it's kept nowadays to deal with employment, most people want you to put the applications on the computer. A lot of folks aren't taking paper applications, they're taking internet applications and all of those things. So we got to step up our game to deal with the way society is moving. So please call our office. There's a young lady in my office by the name of Tamara. So you can be a member of our internet newsletter, so you can get the information of things that's going on in our ward and sometimes in the city. We try to let people know everything that's going on. Matter of fact, we even get sometimes all of the aldermen, I'm sure, gets the notices of what opportunities that the city have for folks, and we try to blast that out to people and so they can take advantage of it. But again, we can't guarantee a job for folks. You have to prepare yourself, position yourself, and step up to the plate to be able to get a job. It's very competitive out here. We just are able to give the opportunities. It's not like it used to be in the old days of politics that you can just go see the alderman or the committeeman, and tomorrow you'll be working. Those days are over with. Today, there's a lot of competition. People are looking for transparency, they're looking for professionalism, and they're trying to get the best candidates. And a lot of things that we do is we try to position folks to be prepared to get a job, because we don't want to just give a person a fish. If we just give you a job, you get a meal for the day. We try to teach people how to fish so you can eat for life. And that's what it's all about. Forget the temporary things. We're looking to help people be prosperous, forever. And when you're prosperous, the water's prosperous, we're prosperous. When you win, we all win. So we want everyone to be successful in the water. Today, ladies and gentlemen, two of the organizations that I'm working with right now, in particular with Pete's Market, but also it carries on to several other businesses in the city that are looking for some folks. These folks, it's like a blessing from God that they came to me, because Pete's Market on Madison and Weston is getting ready to open up. It's something that I inherited in a new ward map. It actually was initiated, all of the negotiation to put it on that spot, was started by Alderman Bob Fioretti. I can't take all the credit. He started it. When I took over, I carried the rest of the water and brought it to the finish line. And so we're working on trying to get people hired now. So I just want to thank all of the organizations that was involved with that. It wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for the Near West Chamber of Commerce, Howe, Eddie Winters, Ernest Gates, a guy named Andre Perrin, and I can't remember the name of the organization. All three of those organizations worked on the negotiation of getting Pete's to come here. There was a big thing with the Pete's early on, where if it was going to be a Pete's, or if it was going to be an Aldi's, and there was a big fight in the community of which was going to be which. And thank God the Pete's won. Because the challenging thing with the Aldi's, nothing against Aldi's, but Aldi's have you to bag your own food, which means there's less jobs for people in the community. And so we wanted to make sure that folks get that opportunity. They tried to bring me in and fight. I wasn't the alderman yet, and I was like, personally I like the peace myself, but I'm gonna let you all handle that fight amongst yourself. And the community, they won. So the other organization is the Neighbors Development Network, which is Andre Perrin, who had a big part with the peace and a big part with that fight to get peace here. And all three of those organizations worked very hard. We commend all of them for all of the work that they did, along with the former alderman. We're just happy to be here to take peace to the finish line and make sure that people in the community get an opportunity to work there. So peace came to us. And peace came to us, and this is why these guys are God sent. Peace came to us and was like, okay, we want you to hire people from the community. And Peace was like, yeah, we'll hire people from the community, but they have to have some experience or be qualified. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what do you mean they have to have experience to be qualified? Well, they got to have some kind of experience and some kind of qualifications. We don't just hire anyone. I said, well, let me see if I can get someone to help train the people, or maybe I can get some money from the city to help folks get trained first and do some customized training for you guys, which we have done in the past for Dominic's and some other areas. And then these two ladies came to see me, and they're like, oh, we do that. We do that for a lot of the big chain restaurants and hotels and other businesses, and you don't have to get any money from the city for us. We already have a contract with WIA and some other folks to do that. And I was like, hallelujah. I was like, well, man, let me hook you all up with Pete's. Boom, bam, and here we are, man. And right now, we just had a intake session people, and what was it, over 500 people?
Close to 900.
900 people came. That's how many people are out of work, and they come from all over the city. When the word get out, even though I try to just limit it to the ward, it's hard. Because, Nene called her cousin, and you got people coming from all the way 100 and something to look for jobs. But let me introduce these ladies, because I can go on, and I'm so excited about this. We have with us Iris Calloway, and we have Sharon Barson. Okay, Iris is the director of Service Works EDSI/BA. Okay, those are a lot of letters going on there. And Sharon is the president of what's the name of your company?
Educational Advantage.
Oh, Educational Advantage. Sharon's been in the area in our ward for a long time, doing some different things, from developing to restaurants to owning, being in business yourself. So both of these ladies work together, and they work with several organizations in our ward. Thank you, ladies, very much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Why don't you start out, Iris? Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Tell them a little bit about yourself, and tell them about your organization and what you do.
I'm Iris Calloway, the director of Service Works. And Service Works was an initiative that was birthed out of the City of Chicago Mayor's Office of Workforce Development at that time. Since then, it has been merged now through a partnership with the City of Chicago Mayor's Office, and along with President Wiggle's office, Cook County. And so our funds come to us through the Chicago Cook Partnership, which is a merger of city and county workforce boards coming together with the WIA funding.
Oh, fantastic.
Merging all the WIA funding.
I didn't know all of that.
Yeah, so
See?
Those are our governance.
This is the most educational show in the world, because I get educated all the time.
Yeah, so,
okay, go ahead.
So the city and the county are the governing bodies over the Service Works Center. And Service Works mission is to work with service industry businesses, particularly hotels, restaurants, retail, the overall service industry and hospitality industry. And what we do is we act as an extension of the business's HR arms, helping them to meet their human capital needs through candidate recruitment, candidate screening, training, incumbent worker training, pre-employment training, and various industry trainings. And with that, we work with job seekers in the Chicago and Cook County area. They come to Service Works, and we screen them and match them up through suitability screenings to the positions that are of our employer partners. And to date, we have over 200 employer partners, where we have staffed numerous over 100 hotels since our tenure, numerous retail stores, and et cetera. So, and we average a less than 2-to-1 interview to hire ratio for the business.
So what does that mean, 2-to-1 ratio?
If we refer 2 candidates to a business for interviews, one of those candidates are being hired. So those numbers are really good to an employer, because to an employer, on the employer side, the benefit is that we save them HR costs with recruiting, with screening. It minimizes a lot of their HR, it reduces a lot of their HR costs. Also, we're able to train people. So if, say for example, with the PEATS project, they're looking for people to have the industry certifications in food service, which is the Serve Safe. We're able to use WIA funds to offset their costs for eligible candidates that they hire, where we will pay for those certifications.
So you pay for the training?
And where we could, absolutely, where we pay for the training.
Man.
And we're able to take the residents of your ward to build their skill sets, but also that they will obtain certification to begin their careers in the hospitality industry. And Pete's benefit is that it saves them the cost, and they're getting a trained, skilled population ready to go in to fill those positions. And so Service Works has placed over 9,000 job seekers from Chicago and Cook County area.
Praise
and
God.
We work with employers not just within Chicago, but the whole Cook County area. And so a lot of job seekers have benefited from these resources and the connections that we have to extend countywide.
That's great. So we can give you credit But we also got to get we as federal money.
WIA is Workforce Investment Act funds.
So we can thank
federal.
we can thank the president.
Absolutely.
But we also can thank the mayor.
Absolutely.
And Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
Absolutely.
And also Tony Prentwinkle.
Absolutely.
For doing that partnership and putting their resources in one bag, so that they can get more resources out of it. So that's
Absolutely.
fantastic. So I didn't know all of that.
Yeah. And we could thank Karen Norton Reeves, who is the CEO for this new workforce board partnership known as the Chicago Cook Partnership.
Fantastic. So, everybody's heard about the partnership and heard that they were in partnership, but people didn't really know what was going on. So that's fantastic that this is going on. And it's fantastic that we can connect. So that for me, I can connect with a business that don't have to hustle for the money to help them with the training, and the business that don't have the money to do all the training. That's why they look for experienced people, so they don't have to train now.
Now they have access.
They have access to someone who got the resources to do that. That's a win-win situation.
That's what I was going to say, on both sides. It's a
fantastic.
win-win.
And so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Sharon?
Well, I spent the bulk of my career in restaurants, operating restaurants here in the Chicago area. My family was in the restaurant business in Chicago. And I started, about 20 years ago, I started Educational Advantage as a hospitality consulting firm. And I create a lot of training and development programs for the hospitality industry. And I met Iris about 4 years ago. She asked me to develop a customer service training program for Chicago youth. And it just turned out to be a match made in heaven, because my clients were hiring the youth that we were training in the customer service program.
Great.
That summer we trained 100 kids, and 77 of them were hired
Praise
by
God.
my clients. So we knew we were onto something, and since then I've started developing customized training programs for the WIA training dollars. And so we do, for example, we created for Pete's a 30-hour customer service skill training program that was customized just towards grocery and retail. And they also get their Serve Safe Sanitation certificate and their Bassett Alcohol Awareness certificate and the National Retail Federation Foundation Customer Service certification.
Wow, so that position them to not only work at Pete's, they can go anywhere.
Absolutely.
Yes. And they really get immersed in providing outstanding customer service, which is what every business owner is looking for now.
That's great. So like right now, when we had the Pete's opening, you said we had about 900 people. They were lined up all over the place.
Yes.
And a lot of folks, when they initially come to the table, unfortunately nowadays, a lot of people really don't know how to present themselves
Absolutely.
for employment. I saw people in the line. I tried to say hello to people. A lot of young people think marijuana is not a drug.
That's true.
Right? Seriously. I mean,
that is so true.
We had a job fair for Jules, and there were some young folks in line, and they were doing drug testing on the spot.
Absolutely.
And I told everybody in line, I say, hey, if you all messing with drugs, there's no sense of standing in this line. And the young kid told me, he said, oh, I don't take no drugs, I just smoke weed. And I'm like, and they don't know that marijuana stays in your system. It used to be what, 30 days?
It used to be 30 days, but now it can go from 45 to 90 days.
45 to 90 days. So if you smoke weed, you need to stop smoking weed.
Absolutely.
Because even though it's leading toward being legal, it still can hinder you on getting employment.
Absolutely.
And then also I try to tell them, even if you're around weed, because it gets in your hair,
yes,
and it stays there. It gets in your clothes, gets in your skin, and it shows up. So you need to not be in an area where folks are participating in those kind of things. But also some of the things that I saw when folks was in line, and it just goes to say that we have to do more training.
Absolutely.
Because look at standing in line, and I was joking with them. I was like, hey man, pull your pants up. I say those ladies that's in there that's gonna interview you may not like seeing your underwear. And that's real
Absolutely.
talk. And they think that's their style of dressing, but it's not professional.
Absolutely.
And they need to know you have to conform to mainstream society. If you want to get with them, you have to be like them.
Absolutely.
And they're formal, you know. And the best way to be is to have a shirt and a tie and your pants up, your hair combed, and look decent. And also try to look people in the eye, shake hands, speak properly, smile, all those things. And all of those basic things, I think a lot of folks are lacking.
Absolutely.
And I know that you all work with a lot of organizations, some in our ward and some across the city. Can you tell me some of the organizations you work with?
Through the Chicago Cook Partnership, they fund quite a few agencies here in Chicago and in the greater Cook area, where those agencies have been funded to do job readiness training.
So that's called job readiness, getting them ready
training.
Before they go on the interview, mock
Exactly.
interviews, all those things.
Exactly, and whether it's for the low skill individual, but also for college grads who just lack interviewing skills.
To even interview for school.
To even interview, because some of those skills are not taught in college in a university setting. And after I have the degree, how do I go on an interview? So you see it on both sides of the fence. And these agencies have been funded to provide job readiness training, to help them with resume development, and also to help assist them with placement. So say, for example, if they're not suitable, if they have a career outside of the hospitality industry, we're able to funnel those and connect those job seekers to the other workforce agencies within the wards or within Chicago or within the Cook County area. And here within your ward, you have the West Side Workforce Center that's located at 10 South Kedzie,
Right.
which is a one-stop that does the job readiness training, that also can connect them to various occupational trainings, like we utilize Sharon for her organization, because Sharon is a WIA training provider as well, but they're able to connect them with an array of WIA training providers that can jumpstart their careers and get them right on the career path. And there they will learn, as you mentioned, some of the candidates who are standing in line, they will learn and they will be exposed to different careers where they can do industry tours, where they can go if they've never been to a hotel. And that's some of the things that ServiceWorks does. We do industry tours where they can go into the hotels and look to see what a Ritz-Carlton look like, front of the house and back of the house, and really kind of understand that this may be who you are in the community, but you can represent another side of the community in your professional careers.
Yeah, that's great. And, you know, in a lot of the jobs that you're talking about, I mean, even with Pete's, what's Pete's average salary over there?
I would say it ranges, about $9 an hour.
Okay, and it can go up.
It could go up. I know they start at minimum wage, but it can go up depending on experience.
And then I know that, and then Mariano's.
Mariano's is a little bit
Higher.
a little bit maybe slightly higher, but basically it's based on experience. You can go from minimum wage depending on the positions, minimum wage, and then some of the management entry, mid-management positions can go anywhere from $12 to $13, $14 an hour.
And most of these places have benefits too.
Absolutely have
Dental,
benefits,
eyeglasses,
and they have career ladders.
And career.
And that's the other important thing, Alderman, is that letting the person know that it's just not a job.
It's a
you
career.
can go somewhere with this. It is a career.
So let me tell you, so we were downtown at City Council at the committee, and we were just voting on this new hotel over at McCormick Place, right? 12-bed hotel. It's the Marriott.
Yes.
And the union people were there, very excited about it, and they were saying that, you know, they can get about 3,000 jobs out of that hotel, right? And I was like, well, how much do the people at the hotel get paid? They said they start at $14
Absolutely.
an hour.
$14 an hour.
$14, making beds,
Absolutely.
cleaning up.
Absolutely.
Start at $14 an hour, and then they can move up. They can become managers. They can
And
$14 an hour, making bed, cleaning up, all
Yes.
those things. Those are nice jobs.
And our average wage for the hotel placements that we do is $16.98
$16
for
a night.
housekeeping positions.
Housekeeping, isn't that
And
great?
Yeah.
one of
And
the
a lot of people sleep on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
one of the
they
great
too proud
things
to go.
is you can
they
move
too
up.
proud to. And you go to a hotel, and you in a hotel, and you looking at the cleaning lady like they below you. They making more money than some of us. Yeah, they clocking those dollars, man. They may be clean changing your sheets, but they making bank. $14 an hour. What's that about? What, $40,000 a year?
Absolutely.
And then
they're
if they
getting
had to work
exposure.
overtime, then they getting all kind of exposure.
All kind of
And they getting
exposure.
opportunities to move up.
Absolutely.
But everybody had to start somewhere. And that's the challenge with a lot of
And
people.
that's not a bad place to start,
It's
right?
not a bad. Tell me about it, and you don't have to have a whole lot of experience to start there. So these are some great opportunities for people, but people had to go through the training. And they had to be able to have some basic understanding and literacy to deal with some of these things, right? And so Sharon, so tell me some of the certificates you go through with dealing with people. Some of these certificates, because when people think about certification, right? Mm-hmm. So they like, oh God, I gotta go to school again, right? They think they may have to go to school for a year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. Tell us about some of these certifications that you're talking about, and how much do they have to go through to get certified?
Well, I think one of the great things about the hospitality industry is that they don't require a lot of different certifications. The three that I mentioned, the ServSafe Sanitation Certificate, and the Bassett Alcohol Awareness, and the NRFF Customer Service, that's about it as far as our industry goes.
How long, what kind of courses do you have to take?
So the ServSafe is 2 days.
2 days?
2 days.
2 days?
It's an intense 2 days, but...
Intense 2 days, but out of those
Absolutely.
2 days, you have a piece of paper. You may not have a degree, but you have that piece of paper.
Well, and you have a license. You have a City of
You have
Chicago
a
license,
license.
and a
You
State
have
of
a
Illinois
license, so you can get a
Yes.
license in 2 days.
In 2 days.
That you can carry with you and say, hey, I'm licensed in this.
Absolutely.
Which would put you ahead of the game of somebody else who's trying to apply for that same job.
Exactly.
Right? So that's one for 2 days. What's the other
That's
one?
the toughest one.
That's the toughest one.
The Bassett Alcohol Awareness is 4 hours.
4 hours. Do you get a license for that?
You get a certificate
You
for
get a
that.
certificate, but you got a piece of paper that puts you at the table.
So all the cashiers at Pete's and Mariano's, anyone handling alcohol, are required to have that Bassett certification. So we provide that as part of this training program.
Fantastic. And what's the other
The
certificate?
other is a customer service certification that really applies strictly to the retail business. So the big box retailers love it, like, Best Buy, Walmart, Macy's. They recognize that certification, and that's a tough. I took that certification myself, and there
Maybe
was
I need to.
75
Maybe me
questions.
and my
It
staff
was
need
tough.
to take that certification too. But go ahead.
And that's geared strictly toward retail. And that, once again, is it's a 75 question online test that you take.
So it's
Yeah.
so how long do that take?
Well, we provide a day-long seminar on it.
A day-long seminar.
There is a much larger 5 to 6 week training
Yeah, 5
program.
to 6 week training program through the NRF.
For that, to really be prepared for that certification. But
Okay, so 5 or 6 weeks. What's 5 or 6 weeks that positions you to be ahead of the game and be competitive with other folks trying to get these jobs?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Give me a break. And it's not costing you. How much do they cost?
The NRF certification is $75.
$75?
And we have current employers like Target and Best Buy. They send their current workforce in to take the test to ensure, because the bottom line for business is that they have repeat customers. And so they want to make sure that their frontline staff is providing the highest level of customer service. And so a lot of those employers that send their current employees in. So it's just $75, but it also tells the business or the employer that you're applying for the job to is that you have the customer service skills, and it meets national industry standards.
So national.
National.
Not so
industry.
it's not even limited to Chicago.
All three of those
It's
are
not
national
limited to Cook
programs.
County. It's
No.
not limited to Illinois. It's not limited to the nation.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. So I didn't know all of these things. So this is so people, young people and older people, can get these different certifications, position themselves to be able to do something, and it's quick. It's not, you going to school for 3 months, you paying all this money, you getting a loan to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
All of those things, you can get an opportunity to position yourself to get a job. And the thing is, I know the Dominic's closed, but all these other grocery chains are opening up. Jewel's is expanding. Mariano's expanding. I think Target has like a target of doing a certain amount of
Right.
stores a year, right? Every year I think they do one or something like that. So and then as our economy continue to grow and more people move to the city, more things come, more opportunities come for folks to have opportunities to get these jobs. And everybody don't want them, but they're a good starting point.
Absolutely.
A good starting point. Fantastic. So tell me this. So today we having a job fair. Well, it's not a job fair today. Today what I try to say is, so last week or a couple of weeks ago we had the job fair.
Absolutely. Yes.
About 900 people came. They stood in line out in the cold. It was a long line. You guys did a great job in moving them through real quick. And it was fantastic. I was very appreciative of it. Of course, 900 people come. That don't mean everyone's going to get a job. But fortunate for them and us is that although you were taking people in for Pete's, you were also taking and possibly using people for some of the other businesses that you work with. And can you name some of those other businesses?
Absolutely. People that are not selected to be hired by Pete's, ServiceWorks will contact them and try to connect them to some of our other employer partners, whether it's Mariano's, whether it's hotel positions, because as we know, this is the peak time,
Right.
the peak hiring time for the hospitality industry. So we'll be able to connect them to other resources, other employer opportunities. With this initiative, first we want to meet Pete's needs, and then those that Pete doesn't hire, the candidates that they don't hire, we'll be able to connect it to maybe Mariano's, Walmart, hotel positions, because we work with an array of hotels, and of course, right now we have quite a few job orders. And we receive
what's a job
the
order?
job orders, again, as ServiceWorks acts as a
So
staffing.
folks can know what
So
you're talking
if
about.
businesses send their job orders, the positions that they have available, and then we begin to screen and then refer the candidates to the businesses for interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by job orders. So these are positions, open positions, and currently we have about over 500
Is that
open
right?
positions at this time.
That's excluding Pete's,
Excluding Pete's.
not including Pete's.
No.
And Pete's is about 100 and something, almost
About
200.
100, close to 200, right?
So it's almost 700. So 900. So maybe out of that 900, maybe 200 may or may not make it
Absolutely.
this time.
Absolutely. And ServiceWorks is currently staffing all the Mariano stores. And as you know, Mariano's, I believe, is opening 8 stores.
Yeah, one of them is going to be in our ward on Clybourne. It's being built right now, Clybourne and Division.
Yes.
Right.
They have their Edgewater store. They have the Ravenswood store. They have the Ukrainian store in those communities.
Right.
So we have an array of positions that we staff. And overall, in general, this is just the peak time for the hospitality industry. So candidates who are interested in hospitality, they can contact ServiceWorks.
Fantastic. So how you all work together is you get the people, you get you get your people, you get your funding to do certain things. You consult with her to help you with you subcontract with her to help you with the certifications and everything. So you guys make a good team, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you almost make it one-stop shopping.
It is a
almost.
one-stop
It's one-stop shopping.
And that was the whole vision
Right.
of Service Works, so that if a business or a job seeker comes in, it becomes a one-stop shop. So they don't have to go through, the employee don't have to go through all of these agencies. They could come to Service Works because we're connected for all of those agencies and to all the Chicago communities and through Cook County, period.
Okay.
So we've staffed even employers like in Northbrook.
Fantastic.
Last year, we're over 100 positions, customer service positions, but we were able to recruit from Chicago and the Cook County area.
Fantastic. So there's a couple of hotels opening up. We have a couple of proposals in our ward, about 3 hotels. One is being built right now called the Soho, a little boutique hotel. Robert De Niro is talking about building one called Nubu, and then we got another one called Bismarck, which they may be too tall, but we'll see if it goes through the community. But that's just 3 on the near west side. Now that's not counting all of the hotels being built downtown. I mean, we getting a lot of new beds. That's what hotels look at, beds. Heads on beds, heads in beds, exactly. Right? Because I'm on the Choose Chicago board, the tourism board, and we go over these numbers, and we're getting very competitive. And there's so many new hotels opening up, and so many new visitors coming to the city of Chicago. It's a lot of new jobs coming to the city, and folks should check those things out. But also a lot of new restaurants.
Yes.
And your certifications with restaurants and your training for restaurants. I mean, I had 2 restaurants this week come in to see me, 2 proposals. One is being built from the ground, one is taking over an old restaurant. The one that's taking over the old restaurant is going to open up, is going to have 90 people working for them. 90 positions.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And people sleep on these restaurants, because they open more than 8 hours. They got several hours, and they have several crews, and there's a lot of jobs involved.
Yes,
people sleep on these restaurants. And then also, the other one he's building from the ground, he talking about over 120 people. 120 people working for him in a restaurant. I'm like, that's fantastic. And Chicago is becoming well known nationwide for the restaurants. And it's a funny thing, just like you talk about how people can move up in these industries. I look at Mr. Mariano. Mariano used to work for Dominic's.
Yes, he did.
He started out working for Dominic's.
He started as a bagger.
He started as a bagger at Dominic's, moved up, became a manager, buyer, all that stuff, and learned how to run the whole, several stores, and now he owns all his own. He owns his own store chain.
Yes, he does.
Named after him.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then I look at when I go to these restaurants, most of the restaurants, and I don't want to exclude bars too.
Absolutely.
I know people frown on bars, but people need that outlet. Especially tourists when they come to our city. Hotels have bars. Everybody have where people can go and drink and talk or whatever. A lot of guys that own these places that I meet are guys who started at the bottom. They started at the bottom, used to work for somebody else, and they move up. I was just at a restaurant over in Greektown last night, and I was having dinner with a gentleman, and he was telling me how he started out working for his dad at the restaurant, and he was cleaning tables, being a bus boy, and now he done took over the restaurants. And then, when you're around long enough, you see guys who serve you, and then they end up opening up their own restaurant. I'll give an example. There's a guy at Lasca Row, a Hispanic guy. He started out working at the restaurant and cooking. Now he's partners in Lasca Row. He's a partner, and it's a great restaurant, high-end restaurant. A lot of notary people go there and eat, and they charge decent prices for their food, and he's employing a lot of people. So it's, people shouldn't limit themselves on their careers. There's a lot of ways to advance yourself and position yourself to get ahead. And people need to take advantage of these things. Ladies, I want to thank you all very much I'm glad I connected with you all. I know you're not the only ones who do this. We have other folks who do what you do, dealing with construction and dealing with
Absolutely.
other industries.
Absolutely.
Right, but you all particularly deal with this industry. I want to thank Mayor Rahm Emanuel, President Tony Prentwinkle, President Barack Obama for putting the money in place to allow for this type of thing to happen in the city. And it should be acknowledged. And you know, it's a funny thing, but they need to pat themselves on the back a little more and let people know about this. Because this is like this is like a great thing that's happening that nobody's really paying attention to. And you all are doing a great job with it. I appreciate the opportunity for people in our ward to have the opportunity to get these jobs. Because, you know, they come in the alderman's office like a revolving door. And the door closed, it open, closed. I'm looking for a job. Can I get a job? It's like, but we need to make sure people are positioned for jobs. So I know you work with an organization in our ward, Near West Community Organization.
Near West Side
is one of the organizations.
It's one of the we work with an array of organizations, but Near
How do
West
the organizations connect with you?
Well, through the Chicago Cook Partnership, if they are funded, because I believe they
they're
have
funded
over
from the city and
if
or
they're
the
funded
county?
from the city and the county, they automatically are connected to
you.
to us. But we also reach out to non-WIA funded agencies, so we have relationships.
So if they funded by WIA, if they just funded by the city?
By the city, or it could be industry institutions.
Okay.
Within the hospitality industry. So I'm
gonna make sure all my organizations in my ward is connected with you, because I want to make sure all these organizations are helping people in the ward get some jobs.
And we also are connected with a great
connected
deal of
with
faith-based
CHA too?
organizations. Yes, Chicago Housing Authority. I'm glad you mentioned that. Is also one of the funders.
And Heartland
of
Alliance.
Heartland Alliance.
Okay.
They're an organization that referred their candidates to us as well.
Fantastic. That's great. So we want to make sure. Now, if people want to find out how to contact you, how to get involved, what should they do?
They can contact ServiceWorks at 312-494-9346. ServiceWorks is located downtown Chicago at 500 North Dearborn, Suite 305.
Fantastic. How many people do you have working for you?
We have a team of about 10, but one of the great things about this initiative with the Chicago Cook Partnership, we're able to stretch our arms. So we build capacity by connecting and collaborating with the other workforce centers. So, for example, with this Mariano's project, all the stores are opening up kind of quickly at the same time, and the volume is high. So through the Chicago Cook Partnership, we're able to leverage all the other WIA agencies, and we come together as one to provide seamless services to the business as well as the job seeker. So even though we have 10, we're able to expand our capacity at any given time for that particular business to accommodate the candidate recruitment and screening process.
Fantastic. So, Iris, thank you very much for coming on to the show. Thank you for helping people in our community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And also, Sharon, if folks wanted to contact, did you give us your website?
Our website is chicagoserviceworks.com.
Okay, and is there a number that they can call?
The office number is 312-494-9346, and I'll repeat it again, 312-494-9346.
And Sharon, so let's say I already work at a restaurant, or I already work in the service industry, but I don't have all these certificates, and I want to enhance my skills. And I know what I want to ask you. I want to enhance my skills. What do I do? I can call you, and can you hook me up where I can get these certificates and things like that to help me?
For an individual, because I work basically with employers,
Okay.
For an individual, they can contact the Illinois Restaurant Association, and they provide classes, and they provide online classes as well.
Okay.
For the Serve Safe certification and the Bassett certification.
Okay.
But for employers, I work with employers, and we create customized training programs for their staff members.
So with all these employers, are people limited if they have a background?
No, they're not limited if they have a background. Because that's one of the great things too about the service industry, and we see more people with backgrounds go into the food service industry, the culinary industry, and that's one of the other great benefits of the WIA program. We're able to tap into training dollars too to get them into culinary programs, and so that's part of our screening process, so we can connect them to the right industry and the right positions where we know they will get hired.
Fantastic. Well, it seems like the state should be having you all to train people before they come home from being incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? So they can be positioned to get employment. Maybe I'll talk to the governor about that. But and then also, what about educationally? Do they have to have high school diploma, GED?
It varies. It varies. We've placed people within, and that's one of the great things about the service industry. They could begin their careers without high school diplomas, and they can obtain them as they go on.
Fantastic. So I want to thank you all very much for coming on. Sharon, I just got Iris, I just got a note that they're waiting on you for these interviews out here so they can get started. So we don't want to hold these folks up. I know they all sweating and got their A game on. And
Yes, they do.
yeah, we don't want to mess up their A game. They start slouching over and getting tired. They got on their suits and ties and looking sharp and beautiful out there.
They look great, don't they?
They do. I am so impressed, man. And so we want to let them go on and do their thing. So like I was saying, the initial 900 folks, right? Then you weeded through there.
Yes.
And so this is like the second run.
This is the second run. So today, Pete's is actually conducting interviews. The first job fair, the candidates came in, completed application, went through screenings, and these are the people that have been selected to be interviewed by Pete's by skill sets.
Okay, so that was for Pete's, but all those other people who may not came to this will have opportunities through Service Works to be interviewed by other people.
By other employers, absolutely.
Fantastic. So that's a blessing, because you can't satisfy everybody, but our job is to give people opportunities, and that's part of my prayer with my staff, that God help us to help the world prosper and help people to get opportunities to get jobs and change their lives. When people are employed and when people are educated and employed, you have a safer community, and the community just continue to prosper. And they find that most employed people's children are better educated.
Absolutely.
Are better educated. When the parents are employed, the kids are better educated, and they have better self-esteem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a good thing to try to employ people. And I think that's the key to our crime challenges, is finding employment for people. So I just want to thank you all very much. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for doing this, connecting with Peace with me. I want to thank the people in the community for the organizations that help to get Pete here. I want to thank all of them. I want to thank Andre Piran from Neighbors Development Network, Ernest Gates from the Near West Side Community Development Corporation, and Eddie Winters from the homeowners of Westtown, and all of their members for helping to get this piece here, so that the people in the community can have this opportunity to get the job. And I thank God that I was able to connect the dots with you and Pete to make this a great thing, and to put Pete's in a position where they can't deny our people. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching Network 27. I'm Alderman Walter Burnett. Remember, call my office, get on our e-blast list. You're missing some good stuff. We shooting it out every day. We're trying to find things where people can have some opportunities. God bless you all, and see you next month. Thank you very much.